Subscribe for Reddit's controversial opinions. People who think animals are gods and humans suck are cringy. Every time I see a post with a dog or any animal, really, you always see the comment with a couple thousand upvotes saying how much animals are great and humans ruin the earth or some BS. I think people who treat animals like gods are just people with no social skills and blame others for hating them, so they resort to things who can't talk and love you just because you feed them. Finally, an unpopular opinion. Def unpopular. Upvote. This is a great unpopular opinion for Reddit. The animal cult here is real. I almost posted something very similar, but really didn't want to deal with the onslaught of people angrily messaging me. I love animals and currently have a cat, as well as have had cats and dogs in the past, along with turtles, snakes, frogs, and guinea pigs. I think pets bring an immeasurable amount of joy to life, and that we, in turn, bring them food, safety, and security. I am not suggesting that bonds are not created, but they are created under the pretense of pets having very little to no autonomy. It's very Stockholm Syndrome-esque. The thing that gets me is that people are so readily available to discount others because of human flaws that we all have, and give up on people in general in favor of animals. It seems childish to me, and those extreme individuals have difficult coping mechanisms, or are just difficult to be around in general and project their insecurities. There are definitely exceptions to this, and plenty of research regarding how pets can add longevity to one's life. Senior citizens have been known to respond very well when animals have been brought into nursing homes. Just my 2 cents. I agree with the opinion in general, but would also like to mention that this way of thinking probably has something to do with the perception of innocence. Animals are very comforting to others and make them feel loved. Aside from rare animal attacks, pets are not going to abuse you physically or emotionally. People with various types of trauma may be wary of trusting and developing relationships with people because they have been hurt. With animals, they feel safe. I think it's a bit offensive to suggest that people who think this way have failed with humans, when it's quite possible that the people in their lives have failed them. I don't trust people who like animals too much. It warns me they have failed with people. I don't agree with you. Upvoted. Good use of this subreddit. You love to see it. For people with social anxiety, animals are simply a lot easier and better to bond with than people. Like, I personally prefer people, but you completely overblowing the fact that for some people, human interaction is really hard, and an animal that actually cares for you unconditionally, and doesn't judge you or treat you like crap ever, doesn't sound so bad. I think it happens because we are losing our ability to bond with each other. Animals are easier to bond with. Also, animals can't hurt us emotionally, and if they do, well, they are just animals. Yet I'm tired of them "we don't deserve animals" types of comments. Like the person who says we don't deserve dogs. That gets a downvote every time. Fuck off with that horseshit. I'm with you. I'm tired of the animal worship. That animal would eat your fucking face off if it got hungry enough. I've noticed that a lot of people that worship animals are horrible people. They treat those around them like worse than dog shit, and since humans will not love you unconditionally, the animal lover gets mad when a human does not put up with their abuse. They love animals because an animal will not talk or fight back as long as you continue to feed it. I'm not saying that every animal lover is like this, but a lot of them are. I'm talking about the real hardcore ones that dedicate their lives to animals and live in a filthy house that reeks of dog and cat. We don't deserve dogs. I feed, bathe, walk, groom, provide healthcare, and shelter for my dog. I deserve my dog. Agreed. And it's likely very unpopular online and offline. The amount of people who have basically replaced humans with pets is disheartening. Pets are cool and cuddly. Well, it depends, but you can't delegate every emotional need to your dog/cat/dung beetle. If you do have some issues, and you'd address those with a human therapist. And, to be brutally honest, it's such an easy way out. Dogs are happy no matter what, as long as you feed and walk them. Cats are feisty bitches who basically play by their own rules, and to them you're just an inconvenience they have to put up with in exchange for extra food, water, or shelter when they feel like. Other pets require even less care or interaction. You're basically a caretaker for them, and whatever love you think they give you is more in your head than real. Like, how affectionate can a snake or a spider be? P.S. No, doggy and kitty are not your babies. Stop saying that, it's disturbing. I agree. Op is probably referring to news stories of fires where 10 kids and the dog escape. The people only worry about how the dog is. The fire in CA was a good example. People were not warned and had to leave without their animals, and comments on articles were how evil the people were. These people lived in a rural town and many of their animals weren't in the house. So do you die or run? So I agree with Up. I do love my dogs and they are indoors, so I could easily grab them if some emergency occurred. But yeah, it's way overboard these days. People bitching on posts about how dare a homeless person own a dog, etc. Most likely that dog wouldn't have a person and be put down in a shelter. It's sick. If you think you can gain a bond with an animal just by feeding it, you've clearly never had a bond with an animal. I agree, but I think that most of Reddit will witch hunt you for this. A lot of these people seem to forget as well that humans are just animals as well. We're incredibly intelligent animals, but animals not healers. News: a 5-year-old has been permanently disfigured by a dog. PPL, OMG, I hope the dog isn't too shaken. I can't stand it. It reeks of being too fragile and unable to take human criticism. Very unpopular, and not just on Reddit. Some people take it too far. I will agree with that. I own 2 rescue dogs, one for 14 years, another for 15 years. And even I know that you have to have your limits when it comes to loving an animal. I had to put both of my dogs down, and it was not fun. But I wasn't devastated, or it wasn't the worst thing that happened in my life. People take that way too far. Wow, I thought you were talking about religions who worship animals for a second, lol. Almost agreed with you there. I remember getting downvoted to oblivion once for saying if there was a fire and I had to save either one of my cats or a stranger's child, I would save the child. I understand compassion for animals, always sharing my home with them, but no way on earth I would choose an animal over a human, unless they were a known sadistic killer, etc. Some humans do really suck though. Tell that to ancient humans. Half of those civilizations basically worshipped the animals as gods. My puppy is much more clean than your baby. People like this fit in there. Every time I see a bumper sticker or anything that says the more time I spend with dogs the more I hate humans, I want to throw myself off a cliff. That shit is the new tacos are my best friend. You can't rely on an animal who experiences life in a completely different way than you to support you and connect with you. It's more of a bond of mutual affection and the fact that humans like to care for other things. A golden retriever isn't going to show you their favorite band or recommend a life-changing book or give you honest advice. I think people who lack independence also tend to need pets. Also kinda unrelated, but cats are the shit and dogs will never be as cool. You can't change my mind. Smiley. Animals are less than humans. To me that is a fact. Upvote. This is coming from a hardcore dog lover. I am curious, why does holding this opinion make imply people lack social skills and hate humans? I believe the majority of that opinion comes from awareness that humans are polluting the world and also contribute to this through mass murder of animals, and I don't think it's entirely about pets. Babies are a large contribution to the harms humans are causing. Pets are also easier to take care of. Recognizing this benefit is not worshipping pets, and people who hold opinions along these lines make it social to attract like-minded people. It seems very social to me. Knowing that humans are harmful doesn't mean you hate humans. It could be optimistic, as they want humanity to acknowledge and work towards advancing. The hate seems to be towards animal lovers. As someone who worships Egyptian gods, I'm offended. JK. Username checks out. I love animals. Love them. But I will never, ever understand feeling worse for an animal than an actual human being. Upvote because seriously fuck this. There are so many people I've seen that would choose to save the life of an animal over a stranger. It's disgusting. Agree. It's cringy AF even though I love animal posts, intelligent beings projecting their own desire to be worshipped via pets. That's all that it is. A dog is a worshipper that doesn't even have a concept of time, but hey, free food. Some dog owners are extremely toxic people. I totally agree with this one. People fucking cry and birch about animal cruelty but don't even bat an eye when it comes to the wars around the world and human suffering. Pets are amazing, but anyone who says having a pet is better than having a real human friend should honestly consider visiting psychologist. Well, humans as a race are kinda not great. Animals are just doing their own thing and I respect that. And they're cute too. Asterisk looks around my living room. Sees the dozens of dog toys, the signs that say pets welcome, children must be on a leash. Asterisk. I don't think all humans suck. Absolutely agree. After I wrote a comment on a similar thread about people comparing humans to animals being sick, some guy wrote a serious argumentative paragraph of how a life of a squirrel is more valuable than humans. Fucking Reddit. Bunch of depressed teenagers playing video games thinking a nihilistic edgy attitude makes them cool. I love animals as much as the next guy, but I admit, I put a person's life above that of an animal. That's just how it is, I'm sorry.